Yo, what's going on, Bro Talk Nation, man? It's your boy Eric here. I got my brother Jamarcus on, man. And tonight, man, we coming to y'all with another great episode, man. So tonight, man, we're gonna dive into episode 16, Living in Unusual, which is an unusual title. So that's why the wordplay gonna be there. We love it. Hey man, if you haven't had a chance, go check out the last episodes. Go check out the last podcast, wherever you listening to this, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever it is, go check it out. Just like, love, share, subscribe, comment. We want to hear from you. So, bro, what we got for the people tonight, man?
Man, what's going on, Bro Talk Nation, man? I just want to say, man, I miss y'all, man. It is so good to be back. First and foremost, like always, man, we just want to give God all his glory that we're on here able to do another podcast. Woke up this morning, got a word, want to share the word with y'all, and we're here. All right. If you didn't know, we've been in this faith series. You got to go back and catch up. Yes, I went Alabama right there. You got to go back. You got to go back. All right. You got to go back and check out this series, man. We had some amazing episodes on this series, and unfortunately, man, it's sad, but tonight is the final night of the series, the faith series. All right. No, I sound a little bit under the weather. Bear with me, but we gonna get this holy anointed oil, as my bro said tonight. And I promise you, by the end of this podcast, I'm probably gonna feel better. All right. But man, I'm excited. I'm really excited. The title is unusual. It's living in unusual. It wasn't supposed to be the title. I changed it because I had this verse and we were talking about it, and we've been in Hebrews chapter 11 about faith. I had something written down and God came and threw something in. All right. So listen, I just want to go ahead and dive into this thing early. Okay. I want to dive in, read the chapter so that we can get everything going. All right. Like I said, we are in Hebrews chapter 11, 23 to 29. I'm reading out the NLT version. There's many versions. Whichever one you read out of, it's the same thing, just with different words. All right. Same thing. It says, it was by faith that Moses' parents hid him for 3 months when he was born. They saw that God had given them a what type of child? It says unusual. And they were not afraid to disobey the king's command. It was by faith that Moses, when he grew up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to share the oppressions of God's people instead of enjoying the fleeting pleasures of sin. He thought it was better to suffer the sake of Christ than to own the treasures of Egypt. For he was looking ahead to his great reward. It was by the faith that Moses left the land of Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He kept right on going because he kept his eyes on the one who is invisible, living in unusual. God, we coming on here. We just want to say, I hope you take over, do your thing, and please, God, please, as I wear this jersey, we are praying. We are praying for America's team to have a great bounce back, because we know in weakness, you are our strength. Amen. I had to get that out, okay? I had to get it out. Listen, I know me wearing. Bro, don't you laugh like that, dog. Don't do this. It's been, listen, Bro Talk Nation. I usually don't do this, and that's why it's unusual. It was a bad weekend. It was a bad weekend for all of God's team children over the weekend. We suffered a major loss. We suffered heartache. We suffered suffering and struggle. We suffer injury. We need healing. We need Gyra. We need every name of Gyra for the Cowboys. And I'm wearing this jersey, and I know it seems unusual because you usually wouldn't wear a jersey when there was a stump down before. You would usually hide it and wait till another win comes before you put on that jersey. But I'm here to tell you this: the God I serve told us that we must rejoice in wins and losses. So tonight, I am doing something unusual. I am proud in our loss. Okay. That has nothing to do with the podcast, but I just wanted to get that out there, bro. Okay. Had to get that prayer out. Man, this is bad, man. Using the platform to try to get us victory, dog. Using the platform to get us victory. Hey, nah, but listen up, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
I just wanted to prove a point that sometimes unusual gets looked at in the wrong framing of the words, right? Another version of this Bible in that same thing says they saw that God had given them a special child. Usually when we hear the word unusual, we think of something that's weird. We think of something that's off, right? But I want you to know, in this scenario, in this story, we're going to find that unusual is a good thing when it's dealing with faith, right? Remember, we're in this faith series. So think about and hold on to we're living in unusual, right? The first point that I wrote down, bro, is your fight starts when you are born. Your fight starts when you are born. If you don't know the story of Moses and you never seen I forgot the movie
Ten Commandments.
The cartoon movie, Prince of Egypt. If you don't know anything about Moses, you need to go back and watch it. But I need you to understand this. Pharaoh didn't want newborn boys because the Israelites during that time was on a path was gonna outgrow the Egyptians, right? You can find it out. Exodus like 1:7-10 literally says, but their descendants, I'm sorry, I'll skip down. In fact, they multiplied so greatly that they became extremely powerful. They're talking about the Israelites and filled the land. Eventually, a new king, Pharaoh, came to power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph and everything that happened before then. He said, look, the people of Israel now outnumber us. They're getting stronger than we are. We must make a plan to keep them from growing even more. If we don't, and if a war break out, they're going to take over, right? Pharaoh didn't want the baby boys born at that time. He didn't want it. Exodus 1:22 says, Pharaoh said, throw every newborn Hebrew boy into the Nile River. All of them. He didn't want them to live at all. But Moses' parents saw something in that baby. They saw that the baby was unusual. Like I said, some versions said that it was special. It made me start to think, because of all of this, how many parents threw their sons in the Nile? Like, how many parents just was like, we got to get rid of our son. We got to throw the baby in the Nile. How many parents and couples didn't even try to have kids because they were so unafraid of being unusual? Right? How many did? Now turn to yourself. How many gifts, how many dreams did you throw in the Nile? How many of those things that you threw in the Nile because you were called unusual? You was called special, right? You didn't try because someone else was afraid of your growth.
That's good.
Bro, look, check this out. You didn't know then, but the reason the enemy has been at you since you were young is because the king in you. The enemy been trying to get at you since you was a youngin'. It's because of the king that's destined in you. Pharaoh been trying to get at baby boys because he was looking for the Moses that was about to get born. You got to understand, the easiest way to kill off a king is to kill it in the kid stage. That's where we starting at, bro. This is where we're starting at. Let's go.
Man, all right. Well, God put it on my heart, so we're gonna get a little a little tight tonight. All right. So, man, first off, I love the San Francisco 49ers. I love them. Thank you guys.
Sir, they are
your organization, everything about y'all team. I love the colors, even the shoestrings. Everything's great. Great job last weekend. Yeah. But no, well, we're gonna get into it, man. I just, he put a plug, I had to put a plug. Kind of how we do. All right. But if you think about what my bro just said,
yeah,
it kind of pours into today's time, right? There's a lot of, child trafficking and all these things that are happening today, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna get real tonight. I already see it. In order for, even back then, the enemy had a plot to kill the unborn king. Nobody knew when Jesus was coming. Nobody. This is like foreshadowing. If you never read the Bible, y'all need to go back. Telling you, it's better than Netflix. I promise you. Better than Hulu, Disney Plus, Tubi. I don't know, Tubi up there, but better than Tubi. Telling, go read the Bible.
You could binge on this.
Man, all day. But the plot to kill the unborn king was already happening.
Yeah.
Right? Because the enemy didn't know it. They knew the Messiah was coming. They just didn't know when, where, the time, the hour, none of that. So Pharaoh was like, you know what? We can take them out of power. Just kill all the little boys. Kill them at the infant state. Now, I'm going to transition from talking about child trafficking to my bro pointed out a point to y'all. What about those dreams, those ideas, those plans, those things that they were only given to you?
Yeah.
Right. And just like I know when I used to get ideas and, I used to be like, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing this, man, blah, 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 blah. And it's always that one hater in your circle that will shut it all down. Right. So my question to y'all tonight, who's the Pharaoh in your life?
That's good. I like that.
Who's trying to kill what God has instilled in you, what God put in you? Who's trying to kill those dreams? Right? You had this idea of becoming this business person or to go into this career field, or, you did something a little different or unusual than what everybody's used to seeing you do, right? Like get married, right? All your boys, you've been in the club for the last 16 years. Don't know why y'all still doing that, but cool. But now you want to transition into becoming a family man. That's a little unusual. So it may throw off something, right?
That's
y'all
good.
may not connect again because they're like, man, bro, you used to be out there on all the chicks and now you trying to be married. Well, man, oh girl, what about this and that, right? Or what about what's the guy's name? I can't even think with the glasses he passed. Samuel something, Kevin Samuels.
Oh yeah.
What about what he said? He said this about women and blah blah blah. See, that's unusual. You trying to change your life is unusual. You walking into your purpose, that's unusual.
That's good, bro.
You obeying the word of God, that is unusual.
That's good. That's good.
And that's where we at tonight.
Bro, that's so good. I need y'all to understand that we're giving you the word unusual because we're tying it to faith. Like we're tying it to this chapter in Hebrews with faith. Like he said, like you doing something against the grain of what everybody else is doing is unusual. It is unusual, and you're gonna get ridiculed about it. They're gonna try to kill it at an infant stage. Hey, bro, don't try to get married, bro. Girls are all this. Girl, don't try to get married. Dudes ain't nothing. Because of everything they've been through, they're gonna try to put it on you to kill your dreams at an infant stage, right? You got to understand, bro. Moses was born unusual, born special. The boys that were being born like kings, that was too much for Pharaoh at that time. He knew if more kings would have rose, a war would have broke out and they would have lost. That's like in your life. The more kings that continue to get brought up in Christ, in God, with faith, with this unusual faith, the haters are gonna die. The enemy needs to kill you off in the infant stage. It needs to kill your plans off in the infant stage. That's why it sets insecurities in you in the infant stage. It tells you that you're not going to be great. You're not going to be perfect. You need a trophy. So now you grow up thinking that you got to get trophies to get validation. That is called killing you in the infant stage. Bro, oh my gosh. Like the enemy wants you young. Listen, the enemy is not trying to kill you at 28. You don't need, he set that in long time ago, right? You got to understand it's so important, bro. Like,
that's good. That's good. That's good.
You was born special. You were born to unusual circumstances and still made it. You made it through being born premature, made it to be born to a drug addicted mother. You were born to an unwed family, but you still was born. You still was made. Bro, I had to look this up. Did you know in 2020, the infant mortality rate was for every 1,000 births, there was 5.4 babies that didn't make it.
Wow.
That was in 2020. America is number one in the highest rate of that. 5.4 babies didn't make it out of the thousands. You better know God is over you. You better know that God said you are being born in the unusual. You are a special born baby. You are going to get attacked. But at the same time, if you are unusual in faith and living that way, you have king or queen inside of you. The way you born, right? I told you the fight starts when you were born. It started when you were born in that unusual birth, in that special birth. The enemy wanted to get rid of you, but you made it. Man,
that's right.
Bro. This is so good.
Right.
Listen,
that's right.
Exodus 1:12 says, but the more the Egyptians were oppressed, the more the Israelites multiplied and spread, the more the alarm the Egyptians became. So the more these people were impressed, the more the unusual people that was walking in faith were oppressed, the more they multiplied. So let me help you out right now. The more that you are leaned on by the enemy trying to get you, the more circumstances that you were born underneath. I'm talking about you were born in unwed family, born to drug addicted family or parents, born premature, whatever those circumstances may be. You were sexually started when you was on, whatever it may have been, you were oppressed. Guess what? God is ready to multiply you. God is ready to multiply you in your life and spread you out. I don't know who that is for, but I know when I read it, I knew it was for me.
Man.
Because I didn't know that I was unusual. I didn't know that I was special. I didn't know that the enemy was trying to attack me at a young age because he saw that I was going to rule in an older age. I just thought things happened to me. No, that's not what happened. See, I was born and adopted in a royal family, so he was attacking me while I was young. I didn't know how to put my guard up yet. I didn't know that the word, and I had a sword with me and armor that I was supposed to put on. I didn't know it yet. Didn't know how to speak it yet. But God you live for said, I know things happen to you, Jamarcus. Some circumstances happen, but that don't matter. Because you was oppressed, I'm going to multiply you. Man, come on, y'all. Come on. Look
Hey,
back
that's
in your life.
whew.
Look back in your life. I'm telling you.
Well, you gave me chill bumps off that one, man. Man, that's true. Like, think about this, man. If you never put a piece of coal, if it never gets pressure applied to it,
God,
what do you get? It's just a lump of coal with no pressure.
that's good.
But
Bro.
when you apply pressure to it, it's one of the most beautiful things that every woman loves, that keeps every man broke, and
Big facts.
that people die for, and it has value. Right? See, unusually, when you look at a lump of coal, it's just an unusual rock. It's just coal,
Yeah.
right? But see what's on the inside of it. See, that's you. You're the lump of coal. God has to put pressure in your life in order for the diamond to be formed.
That's
I'm
good.
gonna let that sit right there for
Let
just
that
a
sit for
second.
minute. Let that sit.
You have to be put through something. You have to be tested, right? And let's say it's not a diamond, right? You didn't get what I was saying about coal and a diamond. Well, what is another thing that we can use to, test the strength of something, or, test it out to see if it's good to go? Y'all ever heard of fire? I know 3 boys that got put in fire because they were tested.
That's good.
Their faith got tested, right? Every day, if you're going through something, don't be sad about it. Rejoice in it.
That's good.
Rejoice in the Lord, because he's putting you through that test for a reason. You are being put into the fire because something about the old you has to be burned off. Something has to be refined, right? Something has to be changed. Something has to, the mold of you has to be broken in order to come into the new.
That's
See,
good.
your life was already destined.
Yeah.
We don't know it. Right? We don't know what God has planned for our life. We don't know the things that he has in the future. All we can see is right now in our past.
That's so good, bro.
And I'm here to tell y'all, if you look at your past the way that God sees your past,
yeah,
just know you right on schedule.
Hey, oh my goodness, bro! I love how you ended that. Look in your past, and you'll see you're right on schedule, bro. Like, man, you were talking about pressure so much, and I had to open up my other book because I had wrote something down in there about pressure, right? Like, if you ever got put in a chokehold and you didn't know how to get out of the chokehold, you look so crazy trying to get out because you haven't been trained on how to get out. You like throwing your hand, you like, oh, I don't know what to do. But if you ever got trained on how to get out of the chokehold, you'll notice that you're fighting to be free of the hold. When you're fighting to be free of the hold, you're trying to relieve the pressure. When he said, when you're going through something, you need to rejoice. When you rejoice, that's called fighting to be free. That's when you start to fight to be free, you relieve the pressure. Colossians 3:1 says, set your sights, start your fight to free of this world, free of your addictions, free of your bad habits, free of your sins. Start your fight. Like, I wrote that down. I wrote that down like 3 days ago. 3 days ago. And when you brought it up, I had to open back up that book because it's so important. And you made it so important about my boys in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know I struggled saying their names. It was Meshach, Abednego, and who else was it, bro? Shadrach. My boy Shadrach. All of them was in the fire.
Yeah.
They was all in the fire under pressure.
Yeah.
Standing under pressure. But they didn't let the pressure get in front. It didn't.
Come on.
Why?
Come on.
Because they started to fight to be free. They started rejoicing in the fire. They said, I don't care what fire we in. I see the one in here that's going to get us out. So I'm going to rejoice while I'm under pressure. And while they rejoice, they relieve the pressure. Man, bro, so good, dog. Oh, my God.
Man, it's like a crock pot.
Hey.
I mean, not a pressure cooker. Y'all ever cooked in a pressure cooker, man, and had them ham hocks in there, you know what I'm saying, all day? And when they done, what do? You turn it off and you let a little pressure out every now and then so you can open it up. God has you in that place. Like, you are locked up right now. You're right where you need to be. And guess what? You got about 15 more minutes and you'll be done. Right? So that now the feast can happen.
Bro, you gotta say, I need you, bro. I need you to like do that analogy one more time. I'm serious because I don't think they got it. You need to do that one more time.
For the chefs out there, shouts out to my sis. Be putting the plates on the internet and stuff. But if you ever cook in a pressure cooker, right? And we all know that you can't open it until the pressure's relieved. Like it's locked. It's hard to get off. I don't care how hard you fight it. Man. I don't care how hard you fighting in your life. Right? I don't care the demons that you fighting. I don't care the past that you fighting. I don't care the voices of what the people said about you in your past that you fighting. See, you can't get out of where you're supposed to be at right now. You locked in. But see, it's when you start fighting, when you put your faith first, and then you start fighting for your freedom, you start rejoicing in the midst of that stress, in the midst of that depression, in the midst of whatever's going on in your life. When you start to fight for that freedom, the pressure starts coming off. So, right. So now you can open that thing up, man, and them ham hocks smelling so good. You come out looking like new money.
Bro.
Right?
God, that's good, dude.
Man.
Bro, that is good. I hope y'all caught it in the back. If y'all didn't catch that in the back row, y'all need to move up. All right. You can't sit in the back row of your life. You're gonna miss out on words that you're supposed to get. Bro, that was so good. You've been locked up for so long trying to open up the blessings of God, and you can't do that because you don't want to let no pressure out. That, bro, that's good.
Man, let's go.
That's good, bro. Look, bro, I wanna move on through this entire verse of Hebrews, chapter 11, right? Because there is so much meat and potato and ham hocks in here that we need to unlock. It is so good, bro. Like, I want to get to the part where it says it was by faith that Moses, when he grew up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Right? He chose to share the oppression of God's people instead of enjoying the fleeting pleasures of sin. He thought it would be better to suffer the sake of Christ to own the treasures of Egypt. Right? I made a note and I said, watch what you answer to. Watch what you answer to. Moses refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. You got to understand, with that call of Pharaoh's daughter, it came with everything. He would have had money. He would have had brand new camels. I'm talking about probably camels with 4 humps because the Pharaoh's was rich, right? The Bentleys of the camels. He would have had all the food he needed. He would have had status of being a prince. That's what came with being called Pharaoh's daughter's son. But you need to understand, as a young man with it all, Moses only saw suffering. When he stepped out of the palace, if you go back in Exodus, it said he saw men getting beaten. That was the first thing he saw. See, he was adopted in sin, but he was born to be a king. He chose God's people instead of enjoying the fleeting pleasures of sin. He was adopted in sin, but he knew in his heart and soul he was born to be a king. He didn't want to answer to a sinful name. He wanted to answer to a higher name. See, all the labels we shoot for become our names, and we start getting called by what the world calls us and not what God intended to call us. That's what happens. We start to get called by what the world calls us and not what God was leading us to be called for. And what happens? Misalignment, shifts in your values, and misdirection. That's what happens. Oh, I was promoted, so let me answer to the promotion. I'm going to answer to the promotion at the job. That's what I was called by. So now from here on out, call me by my promotion. But when I'm called by that, I forgot to answer the husband. I forgot to answer the father. I forgot to answer that I was the son of God. See, what happens when you start to get called by these status labels is that you forget your label of who you really supposed to be. How you really supposed to be in your community, in your household. Bro, it is you got to understand this. You better watch what you answer to, because sometimes what you answer to is what you become. And if that is leading you to sin, you need to start fleeing. Bro, we are on one tonight. I swear we are. We on one tonight.
Man, what's on your name tag? I'm gonna put that on the hashtag. What's on your name tag, man?
What's on your name tag?
Like it's crazy because, like in the military, right? We all have our uniforms, and we are called by our last name. That becomes our identity. Like man, I know it's times I forgot what my first name was because I was so used to my last name being called. But in the Navy, when I go to work, when I hear my last name, or when I used to hear my last name, I knew who they were talking about. When I go home to see my family, they call me a different name.
Yes.
There's a different feeling that I get when I hear my name at work versus when I'm with my family. Now, I'm gonna get a little deep. There are two different types of voices, and some of us, if you did or did not, still may apply. When your mama call your name and when grandma call your name. Two total different feelings.
Yes, big facts.
Right? One, you could be in trouble. And you about to cry, you walking on your way to see what she want, your mama want, and you crying. Then there's grandma calling you, and she probably got a sweet potato pie waiting for you. It's all loving, all these different feelings.
Yeah.
We know those names. We know the voices to the name. But see, when God calls you and tell you who you are, why don't we believe him? Why don't we answer to that name? Right? Like you said, we taking on all these identities of what other people say about us or speak against us. If you didn't know, they probably speaking spells on y'all. Y'all need to cast them demons out. Right? So, but you got to understand, like, when God has already given you a name.
Yeah.
And that name sounds unusual to everybody else. That name is called purpose. He already gave you purpose. You already have an assignment when you came into this world. If you are here today and have survived birth, infant state, you're supposed to be here.
That's good, bro.
You have a name. You need to go to your father and understand and know what your name is.
That's good.
Y'all may call me Eric, but my father calls me son. And his voice, when he calls me son, is a different voice. Like, I can distinguish between when it's God and when it's me and when it's somebody else. And that's how you navigate the pressure. That's how you start to relieve the pressure. That's how you operate in unusual, because that voice is unusual. It shouldn't be, but it's unusual because it's not what you're used to hearing. You're used to hearing your kids, your wife, your mom, your cousins, all that. You're used to hearing those voices. But see, God don't talk a lot. When he say what he say it. And that's it.
That's
we
good.
be looking for a new word, and he already told you what you need to do.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bro, like you were talking about like what God like calls you and what you need to hear. There's a song, and I can't get it right now, the name of the song. I want to say is Jalen Carr, but she says something on her song.
You know my name. Yeah.
She says, when the devil says I am something, I say I'm not that. When the enemy says that I'm not this, then I tell myself I am that. The enemy, if you did not know, is a liar.
Man.
So if you're hearing whispers that you are a liar, that you are addicted, that you can never break free, yeah, there you go, babe. You are bigger. If you tell you that you are nothing, that you will never like do anything, you be telling yourself the opposite of whatever the enemy is telling you.
Yeah.
Why? Because he is lying. He is trying to get you in a hold to be stuck in that. But you got to understand, from birth, you were special. From birth, you were unusual. That's why God hid you for so long.
Man. So beautiful.
Okay. See, y'all missed something.
Beautiful.
It was by faith that Moses' parents hid him for 3 months when he was born. The reason you haven't broke out yet in the infant of whatever your dreams or your plans is because God is hiding you from the harm that the enemy's trying to do. You want the instant breakout, but you don't got the defenses up to defend whatever it is that you're trying to break out with. See, God got to hide some things first. We're always praying and praying, God, blah, blah. You never understand what you don't get hit with. You know, we're always praying for open doors, but never saying thank you for the doors that was closed, that was something behind it that was going to harm you. See, God is hiding you for a reason. He's keeping you hidden for a reason, because he knew that you're unusual and special, and there are some things that are trying to attack you. Don't miss the beginning of the entire verse. There's always a word in each line, each word in every verse. I don't care, bro. There is a verse in the Bible that is the shortest verse in the Bible. It is 2 words. Jesus wept. Let me make clarity on that. That is the strongest verse in the entire Bible. Jesus wept. Preachers can get 90 sermons out of those 2 words. Anything that's in the Bible is a word. I don't care if it says but. Whatever's in front of that but or behind that but is about to be powerful. You need to understand that every line, every verse is powerful, bro. So like when you were talking about that, it made me go back to that, because we got to get out of this thing of why it ain't happening yet.
Man, that.
It ain't happened yet because there's reasons behind it.
Man.
You got to be patient. You got to let God do what he do. Because I've seen 3 miracles over just this past 3 weeks alone in my family alone. Shout out my big bro who just got a crazy like job that's gonna pay for a CDL, all of this stuff, because he said he was patient, right? Man. Shout out to my wife that was going up for a promotion to become a lead, got hated on by some pharaohs, became patient, got another job offer that's with less stress, but paying her like she got promoted.
Man,
Where
God
they
be the
do that
glory.
at? Where they do that at?
Yeah,
That's because God had to hide you for a moment. You thought you were getting punished.
man.
Oh, there we go. You think you getting punished, but you only getting blessed.
Man,
Bro,
yo, man. All right. So none of this is ever scripted, guys. I'm gonna just let y'all know this. To put the perfect plug right now. I sent my wife a message this morning, and I go through a lot of frustrations. Right. I just got out of the Navy, looking for a job, want to move closer to my son. Me and my son, mama, we can't get on the same page with co-parenting. It's always some drama and stress, right? Yesterday I had a little more stress in my life, and I wanted to answer the call that I was being called at the time. The enemy was saying, "Hey, Eric, remember when you used to do this? And when somebody did this to you, and remember what you used to do? You probably should do that. It might fix the situation." Right? See, those whispers, and I'm giving it to y'all real. I had to ignore, I had to speak back to that thing, right? But to have a hot, open, and transparent moment, even speaking back to that thing, it was still sitting on me. I was still angry about it. I was still hurt about it. I'm like, God, like, I just kept praying. I stayed up to like 2 a.m, just talking to God, like, just God, like, man, you seeing all this stuff, you seeing what's happening. So I sent my wife a message this morning. I was like, just told her I felt like everything that I'm doing, is in vain, this and that, blah, 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 blah. My wife came back with the coldest message. And when I say it broke me down to tears, I hope y'all catch this, right? Because I thought this was nothing but God's voice. She said, "You know what God has promised you, but you want it in your time." For the pharaohs out there in the world, those pharaohs are going to speak to you. You wanted it in your time. When we say God is hiding you, God is hiding you with a promise. See, there are some things that are promised to you in your life by your Father. Can nothing or no one stop that? Point blank, period. So if you're sitting there and the pressure's getting to you, if you're sitting there and life is just tearing you up right now, you are being hid with a purpose and a promise. Know that when it's your time, it's your time. Think about it. Every rap song, they be like, "It's my time." Yeah, there is no other time. When you came into this world, there is no other time. Me and you are not on the same clock. Me and Jamarcus are not on the same clock. What God has for him is for him. What God has for me is for me. What God showed my sis, hey, those pharaohs are going to say what they say, but hey, when it's your time, I'll promote you. See what we call miracles, those are promises from God. We like to put this miracle word on and make it all cute, put some glitter on it and call it miracles, make it wonderment, right? But no, those are promises from God from the day that you were born. It's just your time. But you have to have the faith, which we're in this faith series, and having faith to wait on something that you don't see is unusual. Let's go.
My bad. I hope technical difficulties. We went out there. I hope y'all heard something I said. I'll go backwards, right? Literally, what I was saying was I read out the ending part of that chapter, right? Where it says that it was by faith that Moses left the land of Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He kept right on going because he kept his eyes on the one who is invisible, right? That's what it was. So now we're going to go back to the definition of faith. When we started this entire thing, Hebrews chapter 11, 1. Faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It is the evidence of the things we cannot see. It is unusual to follow the things you cannot see. It is unusual to have faith in someone you cannot see, that is invisible to you. But the Bible tells us that Moses kept his eyes on the one who was invisible. So I'm going to give you the final note of the night. What you need to seek, you cannot see. That's point blank simple. I need you to know that this reward you cannot see. This reward of the marriage coming back all the way from destruction, you're not going to see it yet. The reward of your kids coming back to the household when they were gone, you can't see it yet. The reward of the promotion on the job, you can't see that yet. The reward of you breaking free from whatever addiction you're going through, you can't see that yet, but you still need to seek it. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because that's what the faith is. That's what the unusual part is. Let me make it a little bit clearer for you. I don't know if y'all ever had old TVs with the antennas on top of it, and you had to put the foil on it, and you had to do all that. Let me help you out. The closer you got to a better signal, the clearer the picture got.
Yeah.
Let me help. The closer you are to the source, the clearer your picture is going to be. Are you wrapping it up yet? The closer you are to the source, the better and clearer your marriage will be. The better, the clearer the addiction of you breaking free will be. Whatever you going through, whatever circumstances you're going through, the closer you get to the source, the clearer your picture will be. You just need to get closer to God. Let me give you Bible. James 4:8 tells us this. Come near God, and he will come near you. Hebrews 11:6. Without faith, no one can please God. Whoever does what? Come to God must believe that he is real and that he will reward you. Bro, I don't know how else to put this. I don't know what else y'all need to hear tonight, but I'm here to tell you the purpose of all of this, the end of all of this, like the end of this entire faith series is what you seek, you cannot see. But that is what unusual faith is all about. It is unusual for you to follow something you can't see. That is why the haters, that is why the enemy try to get you to get out of it. Bro, why are you trying to become married? Because they don't see that you about to have a royal family. They don't see down the line that your family is about to shake up communities and be a testimony for 5 other families down the line. They don't see that the reason why you're joining the men's group at church is because there's a young man that's about to walk in that's been getting abused all his life, needs a word from you. See, the pharaohs can't see the unusual faith. But I'm telling you right now, as somebody walking on a journey, you need to have unusual. You need to be born in your unusual. Let's go. Man, God, this is
good, bro. Born in your unusual.
This is good.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. If y'all want to see something unusual, 2 guys who jumped on a podcast to start. Unusual. Never thought about being on a platform talking about God or none of that. I believe God, and that's me. Don't care nothing about nobody else if you do or don't. But there's some kind of way that through all the trials and tribulations, through the storms, through the strife, through the good, the bad, the ugly, something was birthed out of this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, we get a lot of feedback, man, of how just God hiding us for the time that He did. People got saved, people had a refreshed mind, people got a new word from God. And that's a, you know, back in the day as a kid looking at the priest, I'm like, man, I could never do that. That's a heavy, heavy load to carry. But you can carry that too. That's what your purpose is.
Yeah.
We're like I say this all the time when I'm talking to people when we start this podcast. We're like trees. The fruit that I bear on my tree, the fruit that my brother bears on his tree, the fruit that's on your tree, it's not for you and it's not for me. I can't eat my own fruit, but I can come to you and eat off your tree. And
Yeah.
what I mean by eating off your tree is we have to tell our testimonies. We have to tell what we've been through. And when we tell what we've been through, we need to tell and lead people to how we got out of it.
Oh, that's good. That's it right there.
If you've been hurt before, well, I was hurt in this relationship by my mom, my dad, or whoever it may be that hurt you. They hurt me, but God came in and He restored all the pain that I felt. And now I'm new. My heart is repaired. My feelings, I don't have ill will or anger towards people.
Yeah.
Restoration has taken place, right? I used to be depressed all the time, and I thought about taking myself out, but God came in and gave me a new word, and I'm just so thankful that He stopped it. That now I get to tell my testimony, because you don't understand. One thing that we all have in common, we all got storms.
Yep.
That is for sure. You got a storm, I got a storm. Storms may be different, but the basis of it, we all got storms.
Yeah.
But how we get out of that storm, that's you answering that call. Remember we talked about the voice of God, or who's calling you? When you answer the right voice, you'll get out the storm. But if it's not your time, just know He ain't left you. He hasn't forsaken you. He hasn't forgot about you. He doesn't not love you. God loves you. That's why you're still in the storm. You have to be refined. You have to get some of that old stuff burnt off of you. Like Meshach and Shadrach and Abednego. Like you got to have some pressure put on you. Yeah. So that when you come out, you're shining like a new diamond. Like you have to go through a storm in order for a testimony to happen. How you gonna have a testimony with no test? How can you take your car to a mechanic if you never worked on a car before? Yeah, don't make sense, right? So understand that what you're going through is unusual. We telling y'all to have faith in God. I've never seen Him. You've never seen Him. And I'm telling you that you're going to go through storms. And you're like, man, none of this sounds good right now. But I'm here to tell you as a living testimony that when you put your faith in God and you just go off that and go towards Him, see, a lot of stuff, a lot of pressure start to get released. A lot of doors are starting to open, and your life will forever be changed.
That's good.
I can guarantee you can fact check me. I'm not the man I used to be. And I still got work on. I still got work to do. But some of the stuff I've been through depression. I've been through thoughts of suicide. I've been through infidelity in marriage. I've been through some things. But I still go towards God, and I still come out on top. If you ever just sit down and talk with me, you'll be like, man, I don't know how you did it. And all I'm going to tell you is it was nothing but God. It wasn't me.
That's good, bro.
So, man, bro, this one was good, bro.
This one was good, bro. This one was good.
Yeah.
This one was good, man. bro, the word of God is so good. It is so good. It's so refreshing because it's all about you winning. That's what it's all about. It's all about you winning. Like E says it all the time. You could start in the Bible and Genesis 1, there was light, and go all the way to the end and see that you're gonna win. You could do that. And you could try to live your life like that. But the middle of the Bible is where you get all your refresh at. You got to get in there and get your refresh. It is good to know the beginning and the end, but we need to know the middle. We need to know how to get out of these storms. We need to know how to get renewed. We need to know that perfection is not the key. We're not going to get there. Progression is always there. What is the true reward? How do I have this faith? Why is faith so important? And the Bible will tell you why faith is so important. It will tell you that all these people, important people in the Bible, had unusual faith and faith in their own different ways, but faith was still there, man. So, bro, this is good. Man, I hope somebody got a word tonight because I know I did. And all I can say is thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. Amen to that, man. I don't have nothing, bro. Hey, man, please share. If you
please.
Something in your spirit was like somebody else got to hear this, send it to them. You never know when it's that last time. Yeah, so that person hit your mind, send it to them, reach out to them, talk to them, tell your testimonies. That is what we are here for. Tell your testimonies to somebody and tell them about your unusual faith. Guess what? It's going to be unusual because you never said it to anybody. That's the whole purpose of it. So until next time, be blessed. We love you guys. See you on the next one.